Welcome to your weekend focus for January the 12th and the 13th, 2019. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Now, let's turn to the cards. Intense energy. Standing your truth. Believe in yourself. Believe that you are supported by God, your angels, your spirit guides, the people that surround you. Support yourself. Well, let's see what the cards say. Four of Wands. So we could be looking towards relationships this weekend. We could be looking towards making commitments, proposals, marriages, partnerships. It's definitely a time to celebrate where you are. But take stock of where you are right now and celebrate. We've had 2 days, the Thursday and the Friday, were definitely leaning towards the gratitude. So maybe we have really paid attention to what surrounds us and what's inside of us. And it's celebrating those things. Our talents, our abilities, how we co-create with others, our relationships. Be grateful for your relationships. Know that you are on your way of building something great and marvelous in your life, something beautiful. And yes, it looks like 4 wands stuck in the ground with a little bit of garland hanging over the top to spruce it up a bit. It's a far cry from a castle. But know that each step of the way, each small step you take, you also need to celebrate that you've taken that step, that you believed in yourself. Ten of Wands. You know, the Saturday the 12th. Okay, so in numerology, you always boil it down to the single digit. So the 12 becomes the 3. And the year 2019 also adds up to a 12, which boils down to a 3 energy. So we have the 12, 12, we have the 3, 3. But even when you are looking at the 3, you know, you might see a 3 everywhere you go, or you might see a 12, or you might see a 21, you might see a 30. So how do you get to that 3 energy? And so if we relate it to the tarot, the 12 is the hangman. And the hangman is accepting what is. It's about letting go or ending a struggle, giving up control, and perhaps in a place where it wasn't something that you needed to have control over anyways. It's about surrender. It's about sacrifice. It's about taking the time to reflect, to contemplate, to pray, to meditate. Time to just be. It's about putting ego aside. And that's how we open ourselves up to the magic of the 3 energy. Now here we are, and we have the Sack of Wands, and we are trying to make it to the finish line, and boy, oh boy, is every step completely burdened. And are we feeling this energy of, I want to move forward, but oh my goodness, it's so hard. And so, yes, I think the hangman energy combined with this is very much about, it's time to end the struggle. It's time to put that sack down, take it off your back, look at it very well, and start to make some decisions in your life. We see this Sack of Wands, and there is some beautiful new growth potential on some of those wands, but others are just dead wood. They have no growth. They aren't going to, you know, if these were saplings, Well, we planted them. If there's not a leaf to be had on them, chances are you're not going to have a beautiful tree producing fruits. So it's dead wood. So where in our life do we, you know, and I don't want to say the word waste, although that was the first word that came to me, but we waste our time, our energy, our resources on things that really don't matter. We carry them around, they burden us, they weigh it down. Where do we make commitments and obligations to things that really shouldn't be part of our platter? No, it used to be a plate, but we're all so busy. We upgraded to the platter of things in our life that ask for our commitment, ask for our obligations, ask for our money or our time or our energy. And yes, in some ways, it's beautiful when we use these things because it moves us forward. It brings in balance, happiness, joy. And other times, it simply is exactly what it feels like, a burden. And it's time to take that dead wood and cast it aside. King of Swords. Oh, watch the King of Swords energy. He is determined. He is ready to go forward. He has his eye on the prize. And nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to stand in his way. He holds that sword with an authority. He will use it if need be. And so we start thrashing around and start to remove some of that deadwood in our life. We start to get committed to where we're going. We see um, what we are deserving of what we can create, of what we can invent, of what we can step into, of what we can become. And it's feisty energy, feisty energy with the King of Swords. I mean, the King of Swords, oh, he's a little blunt. He doesn't worry so much about what the message is going to do to the overall picture because he's already seen himself 4 steps ahead of the game. So this is a time when we could ruffle feathers. This is a time where we could step on toes. This is a time when we can burn bridges. So take it back. Yeah, take it back. Think it through. Okay, if there's something to say, then make the plan on how you're going to say it, how you're going to present it. Don't knee jerk the energy. The Hierophant is back, telling us to seek our wisdom, our sage wisdom, that we already have the answers inside of us on how to go forward and what to step into and who to become. But are we being truthful to ourselves? Are we listening to that sage wisdom, that intuition inside of us? Or are we arguing with it? The Hierophant is here to say you already hold the answers within you. So, yes, maybe we need to be a little bit more of the hangman. Maybe we need to take time to reflect or take time to just be and put our ego aside. What will they think of me if I do this? Will they still be friends with me? Will they still talk to me? What are people, and it's kind of like almost a maddening kind of energy because one minute we are so into, I'm doing this and this is great and this is fabulous and this is wonderful and I can't wait for each step. And then the next minute you're like, they're going to think I'm nuts. Am I nuts? Is this even doable? Am I delusional right now? And then the next minute you are like, yes, I can do this. This is something that can be tangible in my life. I can go forward in, I can be successful in. It'll bring in happiness, joy, balance, love. So it is a time to really reflect and understand what we are asking of ourselves and that we already have the means in which to step into that dream, that goal, that desire. And the Hermit, yeah, take a step back. The hermit wanders into the desert or wanders into his cave and he contemplates. He contemplates This is where I am, and this is where I want to go. He makes the plan so that when he comes out of that cave, when he comes out of the desert, he has a sure footing. He holds that light in front of him. Now, we have the fruit tree there. Look at all the fruit it's bearing. So he must have been carrying around a lot of saplings there with a few branches or a few leaves on it, right? Some growth on it already. So where do you have things that can move you forward, support you in a way? We also have the light there. We have maps and books and compasses, so we have thought about which way to go. We have done research, or we know we need more research. Let's get our Nature's Whispers working for us here. I hope you're enjoying this deck. I am. So the cards aren't as strong as they have been, but they hold a very strong message, asking us to really think things through. Where we need to let go, where we need to surrender, where we need to give up control or put our ego aside so that we can create the magic in our life. It's about making the plan. Poor Mercury. I mean, Mercury is going to be conjuncting Saturn, which means it's going to meet Saturn in the sky and cross over. And Saturn is so powerful right now because it's in its home sign. So it is all powerful. And Saturn is the rules. Saturn is the plan. So we want to have an outline of some of the things that we need to do in order to move to where we want to go. And the more strategy that we can put into, not necessarily even put into play yet, but to be aware of the steps that we need to take, the more grounded we will be going forward, the more successful we will be going forward. It's when we start to knee jerk that energy and just, I'm doing it now, I'm doing it my way, I don't need anybody's help, I've got my sword. If you don't like it, get off the bus because this is the way we're going. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm not doing, we got to kind of watch that energy because I think it is an energy that we could take on quite easily. We can get quite defensive. And maybe it is about our dreams, our goals, our desires. And this is really a weekend where we need to understand the magic, or more so the sage wisdom that we already carry within us to move us in the direction that we want to go. Our card is expansion with the 12. So we talked about the 12 already. And now here we are with the expansion. So the 12, the 3 energy is extremely powerful. I don't know why I leaned more towards the 12 energy, but here it is again. So never question it. You are continually moving, evolving, and going through cycles in your life. Attune and align yourself with the rhythms of nature around you. This is an exciting time with new beginnings, growth, and changes. There are many settings that will provide for inner development and expansion. Pay attention to everything that is going on around you and the effect it is having on you. Consider environmental issues or use this as an opportunity for new studies. It is a good idea to recognize the need for extra rest and personal care while integrating new energies so you are ready for important messages and opportunities. Just as in nature, you too have the seasons of growth and maturity. So realize that we are in seasons. And we had, I can't believe the Wheel of Fortune isn't out again, but I decided to take a weekend off, talking about the new seasons that we are moving into, the new starts we are moving into, the new environments we're allowing ourselves to move into, and changing and transforming ourselves. So yes, it is a very strong period where we need to make sure that we are taking care of us, this vessel of joy and beauty and love, because we have to depend on ourselves, our strength. Maybe it's physical strength, maybe it's mental strength, maybe it's the strength of your heart, your your wisdom, your intuition. We have to take good care of ourselves. We are always expanding, we are always growing, we are always learning, we are always changing. And this really is a time of expansion in our life. I think Jupiter talks to Neptune on the Sunday, and that's the first of three of the transits. So there will be a retrograde in there that we'll have to deal with. And Jupiter is all about the expansion. Neptune is all about our dreams. So we may see this weekend where we have, we get disappointed or we get saddened by having too much trust, or we've put too much faith into a certain part of our life or within another person or within a certain environment or setting. And so when you see through the illusions, it's time to cut the cord as quickly as possible. To know that you've got this. To know that you are strong. And one of the ways of knowing that you are strong is by taking care of yourself and making sure that you are strong. So eat right. Stay away from too much of any kind of excess. But, we don't want to be gambling right now. We don't want to be drinking heavily or partaking in some stimulants. And that stimulant for you could be a cigarette, or it could be a drug, or it could be a piece of cake or cookies. And I think Venus is going to be talking to Pluto in some way this weekend as well. And we know that Pluto has just talked to the Sun as the Sun is crossing over. So we're feeling that intense energy. And that's where we get the strong will and the focus, and um, really benefiting from any kind of strategies that we already have in place. But with Venus now talking to Pluto, and I don't think it's a very nice talk. So watch your feelings towards jealousy or mistrust, or looking at the negative in relationships, whether it's friendships or coworkers or people within the community. Try and see the beauty. Try and see why you love this person. Now, remember, we might also, with the Jupiter Neptune square happening, we might see where we've put our trust into somebody and so it's really about pulling it back with the Hermit, pulling it back, thinking it through, tapping into our inner wisdom, not knee jerking the energy and just reacting to it. Because sometimes we say words and we can't take back those words. Sometimes we have actions and you can't undo it. So the best thing is to back it up a little bit and think of the strategy of what you really want out of that relationship. Are your instincts leading you to new truths, new understandings about your wisdom? Have you been becoming too dependent on a certain person or situation, or have you been becoming too trustworthy in certain areas of your life? And is there something there to back it up, or is it just what somebody said, or they got under your skin? Look at this, new beginnings with the Robin. We haven't seen the Robin in quite some time, have we? Well, Robin comes out, and we are in new moon energy, so it's about time we hear something about our new beginnings in these cards. Cleansing, newness, grateful, promise, and new birth. You cannot climb a mountain if you will not risk a fall. Which reminds me, somebody was talking about, climbing the mountain and just running up the side of it. That's the plan. We're just going to run up the side of it. And chances are you are going to slip, you are going to fall, you're probably not going to survive. Okay, so it's all about the strategy and the plan of actually tackling that mountain. And then when you know the plan, when you know the true opposition of what you're going against, you've made that successful plan and you do reach the top. Robin tells you it's now time to pull yourself from the sludge of the past, wipe yourself clean, mend the wounds and scratches that occurred during the journey. Your angels and guides will be on hand to help. It is a great day to offer your gratitude for what you have and knowing that you won't be let down if you ask, if you believe, and you expect that changes can occur in your life. Yes, there is, and everything happens for a reason thinking, even during painful experiences. But loss always evolves into gain of some kind. Have you ever heard of the passing only to hear the announcement of a pregnancy? Or broken up with someone to start dating someone so much more compatible for you that you wondered what you even saw in the past person? Death of situations always evolves into the promise of birth and new beginnings. If you can see the clouds of despair, if you can see through the clouds of despair, putting blankets over a situation, blinding yourself, can cause you to see through the heartache. Emotion is truly energy in motion, and since everything is energy, money, love, work, the universe feels the vibration changing in your thoughts, and it can change it into wonderful things if you allow it to do so. Robins always come back to the same place each springtime. It's nature's way. Robin may be telling you that you need to review your childhood to see where you have stored away something deep within your soul, to see if there is forgiveness that needs to take place, or maybe you need to look up an old childhood friend. So even our new beginnings isn't talking about new beginnings. I think for the last 4 or 5 months, I'd be doing a full moon reading, and it was more about starting anew. I'd be doing a new moon reading. It was more about shutting the doors and endings and healing, and it's still persisting, even with a solar eclipse, new moon. We're still being asked not really to jump into anything new, but to understand what really needs to go in our life or end in our life in order for us to really step into a new experience. And we have the space, we have the energy, we have what it what we need in order to go forward into these new paths. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.